What's up, legends? So as part of our new mini-series on basic car maintenance, we're going to take you through some step-by-step basics, starting with engine bay identification. So this is a 2017 Ford Fiesta, so it will differ to some older cars and it will differ between makes and models, but the pointers we're going to give you will give you the basic hints and tips to know how to recognise what's in your engine bay and levels that you need to top up. So we'll start with oil. You will normally find the oil filler cap somewhere on top of the rocker cover of the engine, and it will usually have a picture of an oil can on it. So they will come in different shapes and sizes. Some are over here, a bit larger, some are over there, different size. This is quite a small one on the Fiesta, and you'd ideally want to use a funnel to top that up. The dipstick for checking the oil level is this yellow tab just here. Now, again, it will move around. A lot of the time you will find them down at the front of the engine. This is a little bit different because the turbo's at the front of the engine, so they won't mount it there. It's mounted directly down the side there. Your coolant reservoir expansion tank is here. Now, the cap's really important on this expansion tank because they're a pressurized system and the cap does most of the job of sealing the system up. So when you remove that cap, you want to make sure it goes back on with the click. And if you're ever getting any leakage or seepage out of that cap, change it immediately. They're only cheap. So that's how you identify your coolant. To give the level a check, give it a little tap and you'll just see the coolant in there is around that max mark, and that's perfect. Now, brake fluid can be a bit of a confusing one, and in turn, looking under the bonnet for a lot of people can be a complete mystery because there's a lot of different things, bits of equipment, sensors, all that kind of stuff that you're not used to. Brake fluid will usually be on a small reservoir like this, and if you look further down, you can normally see it's mounted to a cylinder with hoses running in and out of it, metal hoses. Now, it will always usually say .4 on the cap, and it will usually say use only .4 fluid from a sealed container. So that's what you're looking for. You can as well check the handbook and it will identify exactly where that is. The reason it asks you to use .4 from a sealed container is that brake fluid, when the moisture content rises in it, it becomes pretty much useless. So you have to make sure that the right moisture content is in there. When it's a new bottle off the shelf, generally from a motor factors or a car parts store, you know that that's not going to have excessive moisture because it hasn't been stored incorrectly, and it'll only be sold within the dates that it's supposed to be sold. Next one then is your reservoir for your screen wash. So it will always have like a pop open cap like this because it doesn't rely on a sealed or pressurized system like the coolant does, and it will always have the picture of windscreen with the spray marks coming out as well. So that's how you recognize that. And again, level check on that is quite easy. Most modern cars now will tell you when it's low, but if you're not getting any water through the jets, first thing to check is top that up and then make sure it's coming through. So again, most modern cars will tell you when a lot of this stuff is low, but it never hurts to be on top of it, especially throughout the winter, or if you know you've got a long journey coming up, or even when you're coming up to an MOT or something like that. It's well worth checking, making sure your levels are where they need to be, because a lot of problems can be solved or reverted by having everything topped up properly. Now, this Ford Fiesta, like most modern cars, has an electric power steering rack. So, unlike days of old, you used to have a reservoir for power steering that you could top up with the fluid, which was usually automatic transmission fluid. This doesn't have it. However, some cars out there do still have a fluid-fed system. So, you will usually find the reservoir somewhere at the front, and it will usually have a picture of a steering wheel on, just like the screen wash has got the screen wash on. And the oil's got the oil can on. So that's how you'll find your power steering fluid, and it will usually say on the cap what it is. So, and that's quite easy as well. The reservoirs, you take the cap off, they'll have a level indicator inside and you top up to that level. So, for more hints and tips on basic car maintenance, check out our other videos on our YouTube channel.